8 minutes left on the game clock here, but this one is pretty much wrapped here with the Raptors down by 20. But even with a pretty much blowout loss, I don't think this game was as bad for the Raptors to score may reflect, and let's explain why in tonight's post-game show. Reminder, everybody, we do content like this for every Raptors game, so please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Keep up to date with all the great content we have for the Raptors, and drop a like if you enjoyed this one along the way. So, Raptors down 8 minutes ago. They just called a timeout. It's 104-84. Now, usually I stick it out, watch the end of the game. However, it's Saturday night. I have plans. Close game, for sure, I'm sticking around, but it's not a close game. I don't see a viable way for the Raptors to come back in this one. So we're going to cut it here, and I think we have pretty much all the information that we needed to have from this game. So what the New York Knicks have done this season, and they've done so very successfully, is they have really leaned into the extra possession battle, the rebounding battle. It's something that the Raptors were doing in the 21-22 season, and they were very successful in doing. So even though, yes, they don't have Mitchell Robinson, a bit of a trade-off there. No Mitchell Robinson for them. No Jakob Poeltl for us. We feel the Jakob Poeltl miss a whole lot more because their backup big is Isaiah Hartenstein, who's a very good backup big, and their team in general, the Knicks, are a very good offensive rebounding team, and they absolutely showcased it tonight and punished us on the glass. The time recording here, they have 12 offensive rebounds to 5 for the Raptors. All in all in the game. Now, what contributes to this as well is the Raptors are missing a lot. Like, they're down by 20. The Knicks have 52 rebounds in this game. The Toronto Raptors have 23 rebounds in this game. So they have really leaned into this extra possession approach. And without Jakob Poeltl on this team, the effects of that rebounding have been excruciating for the Raptors. They have not been able to hang at all in this game. So even though they've been decent, the Knicks have much better rebounding, and just flat out, they are a good team. They were a good team before the OG trade, and they're an even better team as a result. OG is a good defender. He has thwarted some of these great Raptors offensive possessions, and just a lot of easy misses the Raptors are not going. Like, as much as Jontay Porter has been very good for a two-way player, there's a lot he's missing. Like, he can space the floor, yes, like somewhat decent three-point shooter, but his touch around the rim is just not really good enough for the NBA caliber. It's just needs must right now. It's not an NBA caliber center. His touch around the rim isn't very good. And especially in a game like today, like where the Raptors are struggling so immensely in the rebound category, where they're getting out-rebounded 52 to 20 to 24 now, granted, as we were rolling live here. Jontay Porter has 0 rebounds. 0 rebounds. Your backup big, Thaddeus Young, who, granted, should not be in the position of backup big, but he is. He has 2 rebounds. You're going to struggle there. You're understandably going to struggle there. But the Knicks are going to exploit that. They're going to get extra possessions on their already efficient night. They're a good defensive team. They're a hard-nosed team. You're playing in a tough place at MSG. The Knicks are taking over, and they're running away with this game at this point. But I can forgive when the process is there, and a lot of the offensive process for the Raptors tonight was good. They're running plays, getting guys open on offense. Threes aren't falling. You know, Scotty Barnes' threes aren't been falling lately, but we've had a decent night from 3. We're 10 of 29, that's 34.5%. Most of that's Grady Dick and Gary Trent, but decent from 3. RJ Barrett has another productive offensive game. Barnes still acclimating to this new role where he's now the focal point of the offense. He's the one getting double, triple teams. He's the one getting the opposition's best defender. But I felt like the process overall, we were looking for good shots. We're missing some shots inside, but we run into a better team who out-rebounds the Raptors to oblivion. So overall, I think like they're trying to do the right things on offense. RJ Barrett is still coming on really well. Emmanuel Quickly's defense is a problem right now, but he has 11 assists tonight. So offensively, I think the right things are in place. Defensively, there's problems. This is a bad defensive roster, and it showcases here. I mean, like, Quickly's minus 26. He's been ultra negative in the plus minus lately, and it's indicative of his defense that's been struggling. Off ball, he makes decent decisions. On ball, he's had some issues. Barrett's a minus 14 in a game where you're down by 22. It makes sense. Trent minus 11. Porter minus 13. Barnes minus 13. Off the bench, Bruce Brown does not follow up his debut with the Raptors very well. Dennis Schroeder, one of his worst games of the season tonight. Grady Dick with one of his best games of the season tonight. He's actually a plus 4. He's 3 of 6 from 3. Technically, he's 4 of 7 from 3. But there was a toe on the line, so he's 3 of 6, but he's 4 of 7 from the field. But it very easily could be 4 of 7 from 3 for Grady Dick. Probably his best performance of the season there, just doing his role. And I don't think he's been necessarily a liability defensively here. But I don't want to rag on the Raptors too much. It's kind of strange here. The Raptors are down by 24 right now, and I felt like I gave them more shit for the game they won by 24 against the Heat. You can see where things went wrong today. It's very easy to pinpoint them. We don't have Pirtle. We're not a good rebounding team. We got blasted on the boards. We were on offense. We had good looks, weren't hitting them. The Knicks are a good defensive team. They showcased it, a hard-nosed team, and we couldn't compete today. But, we've shot the 3 ball pretty well, 35% from the field. Yeah, it could be better, but you don't have a big who's feeding on those attempts. Porter's 1 of 6 from the field. Barnes had a rough game, 4-14 from the field. So you can see where these things happen. Rim protection is missing. The Knicks go 53% from the field. They're shooting the 3 ball well. Sometimes guys are open that shouldn't be. I get it. But look, you're getting out rebounded 55-27. You're going to have troubles. And the Knicks are kind of giving it back in the turnovers. 19 turnovers for them, 10 turnovers for us. And we're feeding off those turnovers. But other than those fast breaks, in the half court, the Raptors are not really scoring. 27 points off the Knicks turnovers. But, again, half court battle. The Knicks are absolutely obliterating the Raptors. So you see where things go wrong today. It's reasonable to see how things went wrong today. And I'm not going to give the Raptors too much shit. Clearly, Jakob Poeltl needs to come back, and we need him desperately. But, this team is what it is. We've committed to a development year. We've committed to a retool here. This roster that was already broken, yeah, we added him some spacing with Quickly, and Barrett's been great, but we're missing still some shooters. We're missing a ton of defense. We're missing bigs, especially when Jakob Poeltl is injured. So games like this against what's arguably a top 4 team in the East, probably a top 5 team in the East, maybe behind the top 6 team. The Cavs are good, the Heat are good. The top 3 in the East. They're a good team. It's a bad game. They're down by 20 with 5 minutes left, but you know why they're bad. There's excuses. It's not we think we're going to be a team competing with Knicks. Could we compete better? Yeah, the spread was 7.5. We're down by 20. Probably going to end up losing by 15 or so, but it's reasonable to see why things are going the way they are for this team right now. So we look at the schedule coming up. Winnable game on Monday against the Grizzlies at home. Tough game against the Clippers. Then maybe 2 winnable away games. 3 winnable away games against the Hawks, Bulls, and Rockets. But, what we care about on the season now is not the wins and losses. It's performances. And I don't think the performance was as bad as the scoreline will suggest for the Raptors. Yes, they need a big. Not really any point of going to search for that big for the rest of the season. When Pirtle's healthy, it won't be an issue. If he's injured, what are we playing for this season, really? I don't think the Raptors should have any concern with their top 6 protected pick. If you get it, cool. If you don't, I think that's fine. Go try to win as many games as possible. See what you have with Darko. See what you have with these players. Let them go out and let them go and try to play their best game possible. And on the way, against tough teams, games like this might happen. And this is an indication. When the Knicks half-court defense is as good as it is, and you don't have a guy like Siakam that can unlock that, you're going to have a rough night. And we had a rough night tonight, but take Sunday off, try to bounce back on Monday. That's all there is to it. If you guys did enjoy the stream, make sure you do hit that like button. And please make sure you're subscribed for amateur hour content like this. Every Raptors game, we do something like this. Get subscribed. Do not miss out. And we'll see you next time for another one.